All right, I am Rebecca and this is my knitting vlog where I talk about knitting. This is my messy side table. It's making a guest appearance today. This is my coffee in my Florida mug, and I don't remember where I got this, which is really a stupid thing to say when it says Florida on it, but I know I didn't buy it. Someone else must have. Thanks for the gift. I am 39. I live in the Pacific Northwest. I have 5 kids and 2 dogs and a boyfriend who doesn't do social media and doesn't care about this. I do not have an OnlyFans. Contrary to popular belief, it's not real. It's not a thing. Will it be a thing in the future? I don't know. It depends on how bad the economy gets, but we're not there yet. Okay, so don't go looking for that. Yesterday I did a vlog about my unpopular knitting opinions, and it was basically focused on my unpopular knitting opinions about the fiber industry and the people who work there. Most of you guys agreed with them, which was kind of disappointing because they're supposed to be unpopular, and I feel like you guys just didn't get the memo there, which is fine. And a couple people did get a little sad, but I didn't name names, and if you recognized yourself in what I was saying, then that is a you problem, not a me problem. Lace up the boot, I guess. I don't know what to say. Like, it's not about you. In fact, I specifically said, live your life. Don't let my opinions stop you from doing what you do. Enjoy what you do. I don't care. If there's other people in your life that are validating you and being like, this is amazing, you're such a great business owner, then do that. Like, I am not the end all be all of anything. That's just a random person on the internet. Okay, so I'm actually gonna try to slow my words down because I watched a little bit of my video back and I could not understand myself. So I'm gonna work on taking it down a notch. I get in front of the video and I try to speak naturally, and nobody in my life is telling me that they can't understand me. So I think a lot of people are lying to me. That's okay. All right. When you click on an unpopular opinions video about anything, it's weird to expect that the person who's talking will just start saying all of your opinions. If you would like to give your own opinions, then maybe you should consider making your own video. I'm not here to sit here and tell you what you think, because that's weird. It's mine, right? Sorry. I just poured that. It's hot. I kind of want to enjoy it. But I don't have a lot of time here. So yeah, these are my opinions. I did not crowdsource them at all. I didn't ask people for their opinions. These are all mine. And I think that a lot of people may agree with them in theory, but not something that they would actually just go around telling people. So kind of like last video, like I said all these things that I thought were going to be controversial just because I read the comments on Instagram and people are always saying the exact opposite of everything I just said. It's fine. It doesn't matter. I unlisted it. I enlisted it because I don't want to deal with it for the next 3 years while people randomly stumble across it and then start negatively giving me their opinions and telling me how wrong I am. Like, I don't need that barrage of negativity. I don't owe that to anybody. And so I'm just not going to do it. It's unlisted. I guess if you really care, you can DM me on Instagram and I'll give you the link. Not the link for OnlyFans, just to be clear. The link for, sorry, I can't breathe, my unlisted video. The link for my unlisted video is available. If you are really, really, really desperate to hear some random person on the internet speak about their thoughts about the knitting industry. So if that's important to you, message me. That's totally fine. I'm just gonna hold this because it's warm. Okay, I need to speak louder too, I think. Nobody said that, but when I heard myself speak back, I was like, oh, girl, stop mumbling. Unpopular knitting opinions. Here we go. Number 1, it is okay to use hot glue in your knitting. If you need to hot glue your stuff, if you want to hot glue your beads down, if you want to hot glue your embellishments, if you want to hot glue your seams together, it works. And if that's something that you're like, I just want to be done with this project, or I don't have time to sit here and do all this, just hot glue your stuff, man. It doesn't make you less of a knitter. It doesn't make you less of a crafter. In fact, it makes you more of a crafter because now you're bringing in another craft into your making. So yeah, sure, use hot glue. It's great. I did it. I've done it a couple times. Don't use super glue. Super glue and yarn don't work together very well. You're just going to end up gluing your fingers and nothing sticks. Hot glue is where it is at for crafting, okay? I'm sorry. All kinds of crafts use hot glue, okay? Knitting is no different. Crocheting is no different. It should be widely accepted for people to be like, oh yeah, you like my sweater? Thank you. I used hot glue. I don't know. I beaded a sweater with hot glue and it was totally fine. It was fine. All right, next one. It's okay to gift unfinished things. If you don't finish the project by the time it's time to gift the person the project, just give it to them. Give it to them half finished. Give it to them with the ends not woven in. That's fine. Half finished sock. That's fine. They can get over it. There's no reason to kill yourself. That's the weird thing that people say. There's no reason to work your fingers to the bone at the last second to present a finished handmade gift to someone. They can get over it. They'll deal. If somebody gave me a half-finished object and said, I'm going to finish it for you and mail it to you, I'd be like, hell yeah. And then, you know, you have to hope they actually do. But there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that as a handmade gift. I'd rather receive a handmade gift in February than not one at all. I don't know. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem to wear your unfinished knits too. I do all the time. I don't wear my knits all the time, but I don't have a problem wearing something that the ends aren't woven in on the inside where nobody can see it. I'll wear that. I don't care. I'm really trying to look at the camera and speak clearly. So work with me. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh. Mohair hats are impractical. They're beautiful. I love them. I want to make 75,000 of them. I want to wear them. I can't, okay? They're impractical because maybe other people don't feel this way and this isn't a problem for everybody else. They tangle my hair. They like felt into my hair. The rubbing of the mohair and my hair together makes my hair like connect to the hat. And then I take it off and I have this massive matted knot in the back of my head. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Do you guys have that problem too? I think that mohair hats are ridiculous. I would never make one for somebody. I'm actually thinking about making a Musselburgh mohair hat where the outside of it is the mohair and then the inside is like not mohair, obviously. Because mohair and hair together isn't a good look. It's not great. If you sweat, it's gonna felt to your face. It's not good. It's not good. Designers need to stop doing that. I mean, you know, if people like it, then whatever. But I think they're horrible. If somebody gifted me a mohair hat, I would cry. So any of my family members who might be watching this who are knitting me a mohair hat for Christmas, don't do it. No, mohair doesn't belong on hats. I said what I said. I won't knit socks for my kids. I will not do that. I will barely knit sweaters for my kids, but I think knitting socks for your children out of fingering weight yarn for them to wear on a regular basis is, I mean, I would have to be completely out of knitting ideas, sock yarn, and with no feet of my own, and I've knit every single thing on the planet that I've ever wanted to knit before I would knit a pair of socks for a child. Newborn socks I will knit. They're very small and they're cute. It's kind of cute, and then the baby can't take them off. Children, no. They don't get wool socks. In fact, I would rather go to the store or get on Amazon and just buy them wool blend socks. But wool blend socks are expensive for children. So are the hand knit ones. You're talking about like a $28 set of socks and labor to knit them a wool sock when you can just go buy them one. I would do that first. I don't like to knit socks for my kids until their feet have stopped growing, by the way. So I'm talking about like the 14 and under range. No, they get no socks. My daughter asked for a pair of yellow socks because yellow is her favorite color. She was like 5. She begged me for a pair of yellow socks for Easter. I got some DK weight yellow yarn, like Fool's Gold from Hedgehog Fibers. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cute and she'll love it. So I sat and I knit her up some DK weight socks and it did not take me very long at all. And I gave them to her on Easter, and she was kind of sad because she wanted solid yellow. So she wore them once as a courtesy and never again. And so, you know what? I just don't think that it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good investment of my time. I don't think it's a good investment of my yarn. And I don't think it's a good investment of my money. I should slow down. I'm sorry. I don't think it's a good use of all of my resources, okay? I have a limited amount of time on this earth, and I am going to spend 0% of it knitting socks for children. Hats, yes, because they you know, they fit. Sweaters, I mean, you can kind of get some use out of and then pass it down to the next kid. I don't want to pass down socks. Socks are very personal. Not my thing, not my thing. I also don't wash my socks in the sink or the bathtub. Whenever I see somebody washing their socks in a bathtub, like the family socks in the bathtub, and they take a picture of the brown water, I want to barf. Like, that is mop water. It is mop water that you are soaking your socks in, because all it is all the dirt that your family has accumulated from the ground onto their socks, mixed with their sweat and their skin cells and parts of their toenails, and it's disgusting. And you put it in the water, and it is mop water without the soap. It is like, it is foul. It is absolutely foul. It's like vacuuming your couch, mopping your floor with water, just water, and then taking all of that, dumping it in a bathtub, and putting your socks in there. Man, that's nasty. Okay, I'm sorry. You do you. Your hygiene is up to you. If you feel comfortable doing that, that's great. This is what this is. This is unpopular knitting opinions. Okay, they're just mine. They don't matter. But yeah, no, I wash my socks in the washing machine with soap, and then I put them in the dryer for extra good measure for heat, to get rid of that, whatever scummy stuff is on there. I wash them like I would my regular socks, okay? And if I did wash my socks in a sink or a bathtub, I wouldn't wash them with my boyfriend's. That's disgusting. I don't want his feet anywhere near mine. I think feet are disgusting. I don't like looking at my own feet. I don't like touching my own feet. I don't like looking at other people's feet. They're vile. They're vile, okay? I feel like, honestly, one of the kind of people where if I lost my foot in an accident, I wouldn't even feel that bad about it. I'd be like, great, A, I get to sit on my ass and knit more, and B, I don't have to look at my feet anymore. It's fantastic. All right, here's one. Fast knitting is not fast fashion. It's not the same thing, okay? There's nothing wrong with knitting a sweater in 3 days if that's what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with it. It's morally neutral. It's okay. It doesn't make you a bad knitter, and it doesn't make you a immoral crafter, and it doesn't mean anything about you at all except that you knit fast. And I think people like to hate on that because they knit slow, or they don't dedicate their life to knitting like that, or they use knitting as a way to slow down in life and like meditate and really, you know, if that's your thing, like whatever, that's totally fine. Live your life. But not everybody's like that. And some people will just sit and knit all day, like me, like Lisa from Knit All the Yarn podcast. I just sit and knit all day, and we churn out tons and tons and tons of stuff. It's not fast fashion. It's not all going in a landfill. It's stuff that is going to be kept and worn and loved for years, or at least passed on to somebody who will hopefully love it. No, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's great. If you knit one sweater a year and you enjoy it, great. That's fantastic. It's not fast fashion. It's not the same as shopping at Shein. It's not the same as shopping at Target. It's not consumerism and consumption for the sake of consumption. It is making something with your hands, and it's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. If you want to churn out a couple sweaters a week, you do you, man. That's fantastic. I'm happy for you. Man, I love when people have so many projects on their podcasts. I think it's so fun to see everything they made, and they make it at such an amazing speed. I'm happy for them. Okay, that's a thing that we all need to try doing a little more. Being happy for people who have better or nicer or things than you, or have advantages, or whatever. If somebody has 24 hours a day to knit because they have a condition where they don't have to sleep, I would be like, dang, that's amazing. Good for you. That's fantastic. I wouldn't be like, she knits so much and it hurts my feelings because I can only make a sweater in a month. I don't care what she does. That's amazing. I like seeing other people's stuff. So just be happy for people. Okay. You can be a hobbyist knitter. You can be a knitter who dabbles. You can be somebody who knows how to knit, and you can be a knitter with a capital K, which is what we like to say, right? A lifestyle knitter. That's what I am, right? I am a knitter. That's my personality. It is my passion. It is what I do. It's how I define myself. It's my life, okay? And a lot of people also feel the same way about their life and their passions and their hobby. You can be a knitter with a capital K and only use craft store yarn. You're not inferior. You can use acrylic to make beautiful cabled sweaters. You can use cotton to make amazing shawls. It doesn't matter. You're not less. You're not less than. You are just as much of a knitter as any other knitter who knits just as much as you. I hope that came out clearly. I think that looking down on people who use craft store yarn is really crappy, and if you do it, you're a bad person. Probably not in every way. You're probably a nice enough person who, you know, holds the door open for people, but maybe you should think about your opinions on crafting and how mean they are. No, man, I see people knitting amazing things and they use yarn I wouldn't use, but if they're happy doing it, it doesn't matter. And that goes for literally, I mean, you can use... If you can knit with a yarn and you want to make a project out of that yarn and you can do it, go ahead. Like, it doesn't matter if it's the best yarn for that project. If you're happy with it, who cares? I went to a yarn festival, a small one, and it wasn't even a yarn festival. It was a sewing festival, and there was a yarn booth there. And the woman had this yarn, and I found a skein I needed because I was trying to knit a pair of socks, but they were like sport weight, so they're small, and I needed another skein, and they just so happened to have another skein of this yarn. And I was like, oh my God, I need this yarn. I'm gonna make socks out of it. She's like, you can't make socks out of that. First of all, it was sport weight. It was like mostly wool, some nylon, and some mohair. Yes, I can make socks out of it. You can make socks out of anything you want. If you want to make socks out of Red Heart Super Saver, go for it. Like, I wouldn't, but you, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. I don't know why people have to be like that. Okay, you can still be a knitter, even if you can't, even if you don't use indie dyed yarn. I think more knitters should make podcasts showing craft store yarn, if that's what they do. I don't think you should necessarily have to use craft store yarn, so you can be like, look what I made. But if that's what you want to do, that's equally valid. And you should make YouTube videos talking about your craft and the things that you love. And don't be embarrassed, because it's equal. It's equally valid. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh, that's a spicy one. Let's save that one for the last. It's okay to have yarn you'll never use. There's nothing wrong with filling your house with yarn and never using it. Never planning to use it. It's okay to have yarn because you think it's beautiful. It's okay to have yarn because it's special to you, because somebody gave it to you. I have that. I have a skein of yarn, actually, that my mom gave me, or I bought it. I don't remember how I acquired this yarn, honestly, but David Dogdare from the David Dogdare podcast, that is now defunct because he hates me, had the same skein of yarn, and he was talking about how beautiful it was and how he just wanted to put it in resin and save it forever because it was just gorgeous. And so I have that same colorway, that same skein of yarn, and it makes me smile every time I see it and think about David wanting to put it in resin because it's so beautiful and I can't use it now. I can't make socks out of it. And I don't care. I don't care if it bothers somebody that I have yarn in my stash that I will never use. I have a lot of yarn in my stash that I probably will never use, and there's nothing morally wrong with that. I don't owe anybody my yarn, right? It's not my job to make sure that the world is supplied with enough yarn. I'm not taking anything from anybody by having yarn, and I honestly have a really small stash compared to a lot of people. If you have a stash that fills your entire house and you will never get around to using it and you want to keep it all for yourself, it's your yarn. It's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing. People who are mad are just envious. Okay, and that's a them thing. People are allowed to have as much yarn as they want. They're not taking it from you, unless they are taking it from you. And I think that would be a really weird thing. Like if you called the police and you were like, she's stealing my yarn, they would probably think you were joking. So anyway, if you're not stealing somebody's yarn, you're not taking it from anybody. It's yours. You can have it. Just leave it all to me when you're done, and I won't complain at all when you're done. Yeah, when you're done. When it's over for you. Leave it all to me. I won't even tell anybody. It's okay. And I see a lot of people complaining about people having too much yarn. And what is too much yarn? More than you have? Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much yarn someone else has. It's okay to have no stash. If you want to just buy yarn for every project, then that's fine too. Like, whatever, live your life. But criticizing people for having too much yarn is, we're done with that, right? It's 2022. We're not criticizing other women for having more, or men. We're not criticizing people for what they have and we don't. Especially when it's just yarn, okay? It's just yarn. They're not stealing food out of little children's mouths, okay? It's yarn. There's no such thing as hoarding yarn. There's a collection and that's it. You can't hoard it. You can't. There's enough for everybody. It's okay to buy yarn and know ahead of time that you're never going to use it. I think I kind of covered that a second ago. It's okay. You don't have to have a plan. You don't have to. It's okay. And nobody should be offended by somebody saying, oh, I bought this yarn. I love it. I'm just going to keep it. It's your yarn. I don't care what you do with it. Honestly, go take it outside and build a bird's nest with it. It's yours. So why do other people feel like they get to have opinions on your bird's nest that you're going to make, or the fact that you're going to put it in resin, or the fact that you're just going to actually throw it away? I've thrown away yarn. Okay, I have. I got this yarn once and it was Yak. I don't remember the company, but I got this yarn from a yarn subscription box and it was brown, which I hate brown yarn. And I attempted to knit with it and it was greasy and I felt like I was knitting with the hair of a person who had not washed it in years. Like if you found a corpse that had been there for like 6 months, but the hair was still attached, that's what it was like. I made an honest effort. I really tried and it was trash. So you know what? I took the other skein and I threw it all in the trash. Okay. I've thrown yarn in the garbage. Perfectly decent, already skeined up yarn. I threw it in the trash and you know what? It's my yarn. When you own something, you can do whatever you want with it. That's the rule. If I want to throw my yarn away, I will. I've probably thrown away more than that. And just like stuff that was horrible. There's no reason to keep it. You don't have to keep stuff. This is the thing, is like, if you hoard all your yarn and keep it, people are mad. If you toss your yarn in the trash, people are mad. It's your stuff. It's your money. Buy what you want. And I don't throw yarn away very often. I think I've only thrown away like two skeins. If it's bad, it's bad, okay? I'm not gonna force that on someone else. I have to keep my Kindle has my notes and I have to keep it on so I can see. Okay. Ooh, that's a spicy one too. All right. If you're a knitter with a capital K and you knit all the time and you knit with neon yarn and fluffy, ridiculous yarn, you are equally a knitter with a capital K as somebody who only knits with neutrals and makes thoughtful pieces and, you know, always seams their sweaters because that's more structurally sound. I mean, good for them, right? Equal on the knitting spectrum, like you're both a 10. Okay, it doesn't matter. Somebody's not less than you because they make uglier stuff. I make ugly stuff. I'm aware that I make ugly stuff, and I make ugly stuff on purpose. So you can say, yeah, Rebecca, you make ugly stuff. It's on purpose. I like it. I enjoy it. I enjoy having art pieces. I enjoy having ridiculous, garish neons. And that doesn't make me better or worse than somebody who doesn't. Okay. And I think that I see it a lot from people who do knit the neutrals and the beautiful, timeless heirloom pieces, where they're kind of snobby about it and they're like, I would never knit with neon yarn. That's an insult to life. You know what? I knit with neon yarn and I love it. So pound sand, how about that? I'm equally as much of a knitter, if not more so, okay? I probably knit a lot more than they do, let's be honest. No. Morally equal in the crafting community. All that matters to be a knitter with a capital K is that you love knitting and that you think about it all the time and you do it every chance you get, okay? That's what a knitter is. And fiber doesn't matter, the color doesn't matter. Quit being jerks to each other, man. Like, it's okay. It's okay. But I don't see that same animosity from neon knitters to the neutral knitters, like that direction. But I see it a lot actually going the other way. And I think it's kind of weird, man. Like, the people who are really stuck up about advent calendars and they're like, I would never get an advent calendar because that's just wasteful and I would never knit anything garish. Okay. Eat it. I don't care. Like, why do people have to be so judgy about that? I don't even get it. Knit whatever you want. You want to go outside and pick your grass and knit a sweater from it? I don't care. I wouldn't, but you do you, man. That's very ambitious. Okay. Speaking of advents, if people want to buy multiple advents, it's none of your business. It's none of your business. It's their money. If I want to go get a job and spend all of my money collecting advents and then I want to take off the entire month of December to knit on those advents because I have now 12 of them, which, no, I mean, to be clear, that's not the case. It's not your business. It is not your business where I got my money to buy my advents. It's not your business how many I have. There are enough advents for everybody who wants them. And it's not negative to have more than one. I have had up to 5 advents. I've never purchased 5 advents. And that's the other thing, is that people give advents as gifts. People get sponsored advents. I've had an advent, now it wasn't really sponsored, but it was a gift from a dyer. I've had 2 advents that were gifts from dyers, just little, you know, things they threw together for me, which was really nice. And so having multiple advents doesn't mean that I went out and spent $1,500 on advents, but if I did, that would also be my business. It's nobody's business where you get your yarn, how much of it you have, and if you have 17 advents. If that's what brings you joy in this garbage world on the brink of a nuclear disaster, get your joy. Go get it. Enjoy it. And don't crap on other people's happiness. Okay, go be miserable somewhere else. All right. Are you guys ready for the ones that are really bad? Knitting for charity is kind of dumb. Okay, it's kind of dumb. Sorry. Here's why. Here's why. I could go out and spend $27 on a skein of yarn and make a pair of socks for charity. I could do that. And then people would be like, wow, you knit for charity. You're so amazing. But in reality, I could also take that $27 and donate it to a charity that helps poor people, and it would go a lot further than a pair of socks. You can buy a pair of socks at the store in a 10-pack for like $10, and then you'd have 27 socks that you could give instead of the 1 pair. Are wool socks warmer? Yes. Are they going to wash them? Probably not. You know what I mean? Like, with care? Probably not. Knitting a hat. I mean, even if you go to Joanna, spend $5 on an acrylic skein of yarn and knit an acrylic hat, that $5 could probably buy more hats in bulk when the people, the charity helping them, goes out and buys hats. You didn't really do anything. Money helps more. I will never knit for charity because they can do a lot more with the money than I can. And yeah, that's how I feel. I think it's kind of dumb. If you like knitting for charity, don't let me stop you. People are going to knit for charity for the rest of their lives. People love it. People enjoy it. These are unpopular opinions. They're mine. They're not yours. You can feel differently. If you want to knit for charity, live your life. That's fantastic. I don't knit for charity. I never will. And what's really funny is a lot of people think I'm really mean for that. You would be surprised how many people think that I'm a jerk because I won't knit for charity. My therapist said that to me. He goes, hey, well, he didn't say you're a jerk. He was like, oh, do you ever knit hats for charity? No, I don't knit a hat for charity. If I was going to knit a hat for charity, I'd just give them the money it costs to buy the skein of yarn. Because I'm not knitting with Red Heart. That is not happening. Me personally, I don't like the feel. If you like knitting with Red Heart, do you, but I don't like to knit with that. But I would just give the money to them and then feel good about myself. You don't need to knit for charity to be a good person and to be a knitter. That's not required. I never do. I never do. I don't see the point. I don't see the point at all. The only kind of charity knitting that I can even get behind at all is the ones where they make the little blankets for stillborn babies. My sister had a stillborn baby, and when she was at the hospital, they gave her like this little blanket and these things for her baby that people had donated, and that was all she ever had for her baby. And she didn't have, you know, anything else for the kid. And but that doesn't have to be knitted or crocheted either. And honestly, you could probably give the hospital money so they could buy baby blankets. Are they going to? Probably not. So, you know, you could sew baby blankets or buy cloth napkins at the store or whatever it is. But giving bereaved parents little gifts for their newborn babies is pretty nice. You know, they get something for their baby to take home in remembrance. And but when it comes to keeping people warm, your $27 goes a lot further in the pockets of people who help, charities that help them, so provided that they actually do, than in a skein of yarn, in socks. Plus, I mean, honestly, if you took that $27 and donated it to charity and then spent that time that you would have been knitting, going out and helping the homeless, the impact would be significantly more. Okay? But live your life, man. These are unpopular opinions, and if you don't like that one, feel free to disregard it, like all the rest of these. I'm just a person on the internet. No one. Okay. Let's see. Do we have any other really, really, really spicy ones? Okay, y'all aren't gonna like this because I posted this on Instagram already, and I got some pushback, and that's totally fine. It's just my opinion. Don't be mad. I'm a nice person. I think genuinely deep down in my soul that undyed yarn should be slightly cheaper than hand-dyed yarn from the same company. And I'll tell you why. Let me give you a case for this, all right? And now, keep in mind, I did not say undyed yarn should be sold at wholesale prices or at a barely profit margin. I did not say that. I said slightly cheaper, and here's why. Hand-dyed yarn is an art. It is beautiful. It takes vision, it takes time, it takes money, it takes effort, it takes marketing. It's a lot. It's a lot that goes into that. And people buy the yarn because it's beautiful. They don't buy the yarn because they don't have anything else to do with their lives and more money than sense, and they go out and buy yarn they hate. That doesn't happen. People buy yarn because it is beautiful, much in the same way that people go to art galleries and buy the art that they love. They pay a lot of money for it because it is beautiful, because it speaks to them, because they go, you know what, I'd really love to have that. Or somebody I love would really love to have that, and they buy the art. Now, if you're an artist and you paint paintings and you sell them for $250 a piece and people buy them, you still have no business selling empty canvases for $250. Even if you prepped and primed them. I don't know how you prime a canvas, but maybe if you did, then the same way that you prep the other canvases that you use, so your canvases are what, $30 a piece? Say they are. You shouldn't sell your empty canvas for 30 bucks. Like, that's ridiculous. You got it at a wholesale price. You prep and prime it the same way you prep and prime your other canvases. That's fantastic, but it's empty, okay? It doesn't have any artwork on it. You didn't put any of that creative and words, your creative energy and your precision to make something beautiful. You primed a canvas. And to me, when you're selling a primed canvas and your incredible landscape at the same price, to me what you're saying is my actual painting isn't worth anything. At the same price. I can sell an empty one or I can sell a painted one, and it doesn't matter which, because my art's not really actually worth anything. So if your painted skein is worth something, charge it as art that is worth something. But I'm not going to pay $35 for a skein of beautiful yarn and then pay another $35 for the one next to it that is undyed. I'm not going to do that. I can go buy undyed yarn anywhere. You know where you can get undyed yarn? Wool to dye for. Okay, there you go. Wool to dye for. Go there and buy all your undyed yarn, because $35 for an undyed skein of yarn, regardless of the fact that you may have washed it exactly the same way that you wash all of your other yarn, is ridiculous. If you're going to sell your yarn for $35 a skein, sell your undyed for $28, $29. Are people really out there buying that? Do you buy undyed yarn at the same price? I don't do that. I never have, and I never will. I'm sorry. Okay, nitpicks it is for life. Have I enunciated better on this? I've been really trying to. I have a really hard time with enunciation in general. Like, one word that I can't say very well is Christmas. I have to really think about it and really make my mouth move in the correct way to say Christmas. Otherwise it comes out like Christmas, and I just can't. And then I look stupid because I love Christmas, but it takes me effort to say it. Oh, I lost this song there. I think that was it. Was that it? Yeah, because I did knitting for charity. It's not great. And undyed yarn should be slightly cheaper, slightly. And when I said this on Instagram, people thought, I think people thought when I said this on Instagram that I was saying you should sell it at wholesale prices or a slight markup. And I don't feel that way at all. I don't feel that way at all. You need to make a profit. You're a business. Profit margin. Sell that yarn. But I can't imagine as a yarn purchaser paying the same price for an undyed skein. Instead of just going, oh, you know what? It would be nice to have that undyed skein, but I can get it cheaper literally anywhere else, and it's basically the same thing. Maybe $28, $29, but the value isn't the same. The value is not the same to me, and the value shouldn't be the same to you because one of them took a lot more creativity and effort and knowledge and skill than the other one. And I think it's really sad how people undervalue themselves with their knitting or with their yarn dyeing. I tried dyeing yarn. It's not for me. I'm not patient enough. I want it done now. Dump the dye in, wait till it's clear, and then we're making yarn. And I want it to take 30 minutes or less. And that's not reality. Dyeing yarn is hard freaking work. If you ever go see a dyer at a yarn store and they're like or at yarn festival and it's a one-man show, check out their arms. Look at them. I bet those arms are ripped, okay? Because it is work to dye yarn. So congratulations, all you yarn dyers. Your work is worth money. Your skill, your skill has value. Your education in yarn dyeing is important, and you should charge accordingly. However, your undyed yarn, on the other hand, doesn't need to be exactly the same price, okay? It doesn't need to be exactly the same price. Shave 50 cents off of it or something. Come on. But if people, these are unpopular opinions, man. I warned you. That was a trigger warning at the very beginning. If people are buying your undyed yarn in droves, who the hell am I? Like, these opinions aren't about anybody in particular. Yesterday's kind of were, but today they're not. They're not. These are just my knitting opinions. And I've gone on for 40 minutes. I have nothing to show you on the West Knits thing because I really struggle to knit the same thing twice. I don't know why. It's just a thing I can't. I have only made backwards progress since I saw you last. Yeah, I'm probably one row ahead because I knit a couple hours yesterday, but I kept making mistakes and I kept having to rip back. So that is what it is. I'm going to hopefully get some progress done on it today. We have a lot of things going on today. We have to go to the dump today, but I'm glad it's getting done. And Sunday, grocery shopping, things like that. Getting ready for the week. But Monday and Tuesday, I don't have the kids. There's school conferences this week, so they're going to be out the majority of the week. But I don't have the kids, and I can sit and knit on Monday and Tuesday. Hopefully get this wrapped up. Hopefully there's no bonus clue. People keep saying there's going to be a bonus clue maybe, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up if there is, because I am, I'll just show you. I'll show you how far I am compared to yesterday. Spoiler, at 39.22. That's it. That's as far as I got yesterday, and I think I was like here when I showed you. So it's been, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, all the way to the beginning. I just keep not paying attention. That's all. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's hard to just pay attention and yeah, don't like. So anyway, okay, I'm going to go. I will see you tomorrow, hopefully in my black living room again instead of my bedroom. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you for hanging out with me again today. If you didn't see last episode and you're still here, thank you. If you saw last episode and you're still here, seriously, thank you. And if you're checking me out for the first time, let's be friends. Let's be besties, because you made it all the way through my unpopular opinions and you still seem to like me, which is a miracle, and that is a sign from the Lord that we should be best friends. So my Instagram handle is in the down bar because I mess up when I spell it out loud. And yeah, so I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay, bye.